No heat to melt its frozen water. And all this dust. It's hard to see where we're going. But we can't miss this. Olympus Mons, a vast, ancient volcano. 3 times higher than Everest. So wide, it would stretch almost all the way across Spain. Since its discovery in the 1970s, it's been declared extinct. It looks like there's something happening on its slopes. It's as though lava has been flowing. But any lava flows should be long dead, obliterated by meteorite impacts. Unless this monster isn't dead after all. If it's not, there could be molten magma beneath the crust right now. This changes everything. Volcanic activity could be melting frozen water in the soil, recycling minerals and nutrients, creating conditions for life to exist. This makes the Grand Canyon look like a crack in the pavement. It goes on and on. So far, it would stretch all the way across North America. But look, signs of activity, erosion, and what looks like dried up riverbeds on the canyon floor. Maybe volcanic activity melted ice in the soil, sending water flowing through this vast canyon. Activity that we now know could still be melting ice, creating water. And where there's water, there could be life. If we can find running water, there's a chance we could find living creatures. Trundling across this desolate landscape, the NASA rover Opportunity. It's finding evidence that these barren plains were once ancient lakes or oceans that could have harbored life. Look at these gullies. When probes orbiting Mars pass over them, they keep spotting new ones. More proof that Mars is alive and kicking. That there may be water flowing beneath the surface, creating these gullies. Water which could be sustaining Martian life. Now all we have to do is find it. Unless we've already found it. Not on Mars, but on Earth. There's one theory that has life starting here before moving to Earth. The idea is that an asteroid impact blasted fragments of Mars, complete with tiny microbes, out into space and onto the young Earth, where they sowed the seeds of life itself. No wonder we find Mars fascinating. It could be our ancestral home. If it's true, it means we're all Martians. The Mars we thought we knew is gone, replaced by this new, active, changing planet. And if we don't know Mars, possibly the solar system's most studied planet, what else don't we know? There must be other secrets out there, waiting to be discovered. This is getting scary. It's like being inside a giant computer game. But these these are all too real. Asteroids, some of them hundreds of kilometers wide. This one must be about 30 kilometers long. And look, perched on it, a space probe. Can't have been easy parking on an asteroid traveling at 80,000 kilometers an hour. It's a lot of effort to investigate some rubble. Rubble that regularly collides, breaking up and raining down on Earth as meteorites. Magical tokens, supernatural omens, and more than that. Turns out it was rubble like this that came together to make the planets, including our own. So by dating the meteorites we find on Earth, we know the planets were born 4.5 billion years ago. These are the birth certificates of our solar system, of our planet. But for some reason, these rocks didn't form into a planet. Something must have stopped them. Something powerful.
כדור הארץ, נקודה קטנה ביקום. מסע מסעיר לממלכת החור השחור. מפלצת קוסמית. שבועי חלל, 2/9. כדור הארץ, נקודה קטנה ביקום. ערוץ נשיונל ג'אוגרפיק מספר את הסיפור השלם של תחילת הסוף. רובוטים במאדים, שבועי חלל, 3/10. יום אחד הם ייקחו פיקוד. בימי חמישי אי אפשר לברוח מהם. הקופים באים. קופים משתלטים על ערוץ נשיונל ג'אוגרפיק. קופים גונבים, 5/9. ברגע המפגש בין הזרע לביצית נקבעים האינטליגנציה, המראה והיכולת הגופנית שלנו. כעבור 9 חודשים מסתיימת ההרפתקה הגדולה ביותר בחיינו. בתוך הרחם, חוויית החיים שלפני הלידה, סרט חובה לכל הורה לעתיד. בתוך הרחם, ועכשיו הגרסה המלאה ב-DVD בעברית וברוסית. לפרטים www.ngcisrael.co.il או בטלפון 054-492-9929.
Jupiter. What a monster. At least 1,000 times bigger than Earth. So vast, you could fit all the other planets inside it. Something this big is going to have a major effect on its neighbors. Its gravity is stopping the asteroids from forming a planet. And just look at it. It's stunning. But up close, maybe things aren't quite what they seem. This huge planet is almost all gas. Land here, and we'd sink through its layers, maybe never hitting a solid surface. And Jupiter's good looks, the product of extreme violence. It's spinning at a huge rate, whipping up winds to hundreds of kilometers an hour, contorting the clouds into stripes, eddies, whirlpools. And this, the legendary Great Red Spot. The biggest, most violent storm in the solar system. At least 3 times the size of Earth. It's been raging for over 300 years. All those churning clouds have sparked an electrical storm. Just one bolt is 10,000 times more intense than any at home. It seems the best place, the safest place to see Jupiter is from a distance. That's just beautiful, dancing round the poles like the aurora back home. But the Geiger counter is going wild. It seems even these are deadly, generated by lethal radiation pulled from space by Jupiter's powerful magnetic field. We're beginning to realize out here, nothing is what it seems. The universe is full of contradictions, deceptions, traps. Right now, we need a safe haven, somewhere to find our feet, catch our breath. Maybe this, the multicolored moon Io, is it? Those pretty colors, a molten rock, sulfur, volcanoes, spewing burning hot ash and sulfur hundreds of kilometers into the air. This is no safe haven. This is the most volatile place we've seen since the sun. Our magical journey to the edge of the universe is turning into a desperate flight. We've got to keep believing, hoping that amidst the dangers, there are wonders waiting to be discovered. $650 million kilometers from home. What a weird-looking place. And yet it looks strangely familiar. A bit like the Arctic with all that ice, all those ridges and cracks. This is Europa, and maybe, like the Arctic, this ice is floating on water, liquid water. It's an intriguing thought. But we're 800 million kilometers from the sun. Surely Europa is frozen solid. Unless Jupiter's gravity is creating friction deep inside, stopping Europa from freezing solid, allowing life to develop in the waters beneath its frozen crust. We might be meters away from aliens, from a whole ecosystem of microbes, crustaceans, maybe even squid. The only thing between us and the possibility of alien life, this layer of ice. But until we send a spacecraft to drill through the ice, Europa will remain one of the solar system's greatest mysteries. It's captivated our imaginations, haunted our dreams. And here it is, spinning before our eyes. Saturn, the jewel in the solar system's crown. Seeing it makes everything we've experienced worthwhile. There's something magical about Saturn. A giant ball of gas, so light it would float on water. Its spectacular rings would stretch almost from Earth to the Moon, but they're just a few hundred meters deep. That's the Cassini orbiter. It's picking up ghostly radio emissions, probably generated by auroras around Saturn's poles. This is the real music of the spheres. And Cassini is telling us these rings are probably all that's left of a moon shattered by Saturn's gravitational pull. Incomparable beauty from total destruction. Billions of shards of ice, some as small as ice cubes, others the size of houses. They collide, break apart, reassemble. It's like a snapshot of our early solar system, as dust and gas orbited the newly born sun, and gravity worked its magic, pulling the lumps together until from debris like this, our home emerged. We could stay here forever, gazing at Saturn's seductive allure. But we have to drag ourselves away. We've got so much further to go, so much more to learn. Which isn't easy when the largest object in sight is this moon, wrapped in thick clouds. Titan. It seems like there's an atmosphere down here. There's wind, rain, even seasons. And look at these rivers, lakes and oceans. It's the most similar place to Earth we've seen so far. Maybe it was worth tearing ourselves away from Saturn after all. Except that's not water. That's liquid natural gas. There must be hundreds of times more natural gas here than all the Earth's oil and gas reserves. If we could get it home, it could power our cities, fuel our cars for thousands of years. Or maybe, one day, we could use it here to fuel a colony, assuming there isn't life on Titan already. The Huygens space probe, dropped onto Titan's surface from Cassini, is here to find out. It's telling us there are organic materials in the soil, but it's so cold, minus 180 degrees. There's no way these could come together to form life, unless Titan warms up. The sun is predicted to get hotter. When it does, maybe life will spring up here, just like it did on Earth billions of years ago. As the Earth gets too hot for us, maybe we'll move to Titan. One day we might call this distant place home. Home. We're at least 1 billion kilometers away now. Beyond this point, we lose visual contact with the Earth. We're standing on a cliff, looking out into the solar system's mysterious outer reaches. If we want to understand the universe, to reach its edge, we have to jump. Unseen from Earth, unknown for most of history, We're in the solar system's outer reaches. It's like diving down into the deep ocean. Those rings. It looks like Uranus has been tilted off its axis, toppled over by a stray planet. It's eerie out here. Already beginning to feel small, lonely. Maybe this is how we'll feel, what we'll find at the edge of the universe. But we've barely left the shore. Shrink the Earth down to the size of a pea, we've traveled less than 2 kilometers. But to reach the edge of the solar system, we've got to travel another 20,000 kilometers. Out of the deep, another strange beast. The god of the sea, Neptune. This giant is swathed in methane gas. And look, a storm the size of Earth, whipped up by savage 1,500-kilometer-an-hour winds. Back home, it's the sun that drives the wind, but Neptune's too far away. Something else must be creating these ferocious winds, but nobody knows what. Our solar system is huge. It's alarming how little we really know about it. Plunging deeper, something to cling to. After all those balls of gas, a solid moon. Triton. Solid, but not stable. Just look at these geysers, cosmic chimneys pumping out strange soot. And this moon is going round Neptune in the opposite direction to the planet's spin. A cosmic battle of wills that this angry moon is always going to lose. Neptune's massive gravity is pulling on Triton, slowing it down, reeling it in. One day, it'll be ripped apart by Neptune. And that's it. No more moons, no more planets to see in our solar system. It's getting colder. We're getting further from the sun, slipping from the grip of its gravitational tentacles. But look at all this. It's not a void. It's teeming with frozen rocks, icy spheres, like Pluto. Until recently, it seemed Pluto was alone. Beyond it, nothing. We were wrong. More frozen worlds. Discoveries so new, nobody can agree what to call them. Plutinos, ice dwarfs, cubanos. Whatever the name, the implications are the same. Our solar system isn't the neat model we thought it was. Over 13 billion kilometers from home, the most distant thing ever seen to orbit the sun, another small icy world called Sedna, discovered in 2003. Its orbit takes 10,000 years and sends it 130 billion kilometers from the sun. Hang on, there's something else out here. 16 billion kilometers from home, the space probe Voyager 1. If it wasn't for this bundle of aluminium and antennae, we'd have no images of the giant planets, no clue about their strange moons. It's traveling 20 times faster than a bullet, sending messages home. And look, on its side, that gold panel, a kind of intergalactic message in a bottle. There's a greeting recorded in different languages. And a map showing how to find our solar system. But if you're in the jungle, is it wise to call out? Anyone, anything could hear our call, find out where we live, and come knocking, friendly or not. A cloud of cosmic icebergs stretching for what seems like forever. They look like the comet we saw earlier. Maybe it started life out here, until something dislodged it, sending it towards the sun, just like the comets that may have planted life on Earth billions of years ago. And seeing all this ice, maybe they carried water to Earth too. It's an astonishing thought. The water in the oceans, in your coffee, even in your body, all from this distant celestial ice machine. We're 8 million, that's 8 trillion kilometers from home. But in reality, this is only a baby step. Ahead, trillions of kilometers, billions of stars. This is it. Time to stop looking in and start looking out. To step out into the big, wide universe. Into interstellar space. Interstellar space, far beyond our solar system. What a view. Billions of stars like our own sun, many with planets, many of those with moons. It's hard to know which way to go. There are infinite possibilities in every direction. Whichever way, we're going to need a serious burst of acceleration. $40 trillion kilometers from home. 150,000-year ride in a space shuttle. And we've only just reached the first solar system after our own. Alpha Centauri. Not one, but 3 stars. They're spinning around each other, locked in a celestial standoff. Each star's gravity attracting the other, their insane orbital speed keeping them apart. Get between them, and we could be flung into the face of one of these stars. Vaporized, trillions of kilometers from home. So far, the kilometers are becoming meaningless. We're going to have to talk in light years. A beam of light takes 1 year to travel 10 trillion kilometers. So 40 trillion kilometers is 4 light years from home. It's crazy. Distances so vast, they're almost beyond comprehension. And exciting. Who knows what strange worlds lie ahead? What we'll discover when, if we reach the edge of the universe.
כדור הארץ, נקודה קטנה ביקום. ערוץ National Geographic מספר את הסיפור השלם של תחילת הסוף. קץ היקום, שבוע החלל, שני ב-10. טלסקופ החלל האבל. המפתח שפיצח סודות חלל רבים ושינה לעד את הבנותינו על היקום. האבל, טלסקופ בחלל, 3 ב-9.